we are on Earth, and the Earth is just one planet in the galaxy. You can compare that to an ant on the patio in this backyard. The ant doesn't know that there's more than the patio. He just keeps walking. He doesn't know he's just part of lots of worlds. And the human race is sort of like that. After they discovered what's up there, they know they're only a little part of this huge galaxy. I think there probably are many different kinds of cells and organisms. Some may not be visible, some may not have been discovered, and some may be on places we can't go. And they all might have the same perspective as we do on this, that there might be others.
Yeah. Gotta find yourself in this world. Do that, you'll understand yourself better, and you'll understand this world better. Every day is another journey.
Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to the Aquarian Adepts, my platform to become your spiritual server. And welcome to your weekly astrology reading for today, Tuesday, June the 5th, through Monday, June the 11th of 2018. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. And I've taken quite a bit of time before making this video. As I'm recording this at this current moment, it is 5:58 p.m. Normally I like to try and get these videos done in the earlier part of the day, but if you aren't already aware, I've been pretty much uploading videos all day, and these are videos that I meant to get out earlier. But that's okay. And honestly, I think even if I had made those videos, I probably still wouldn't have made this video until now, because I needed to feel more into the energy of this week, because we have a very interesting week ahead. I believe it'll be a very transformative week, like any week, but I think this week is going to be a reminder that really anything goes. And that's even the overall theme for this week, is anything goes in this simulation. And I had to really, the moon right now is in Pisces. I have my natal moon here, so I'm going through a lunar return. And whenever the moon slips into Pisces, it's really a time of this deeper connection to our intuition and to spirit, and also a time to kind of just listen to the subtleties. So today, that's what I've been doing, because in order for me to do this reading and deliver positive, powerful, strong message to you all, I wanted to make sure that I took my time and didn't rush it. It's not about trying to get out videos at a certain time. It's not about, the quantity. It's about the quality. and I wanted to make sure that I channeled a beautiful and powerful message. I'm going to show you the transits, but I'm also going to talk about the theme I picked for each day and what it really means, and why I feel like this is definitely a week of us, quite frankly, remembering that in this simulation, anything goes. And it's kind of interesting because I really do feel like I have some music playing in the background. I went swimming earlier, and I was like, just working on uploading these videos. I was watching Pokemon earlier, and I even saw the universe and Goddess speak to me through Pokemon and that show. So, and people think that might be kind of weird and stuff, but honestly, I get a lot of my quantum downloads through cartoons. Like, I don't know, you might think that's weird, but I just happen to do that. I think honestly, a lot of people within my generation get that. I'm talking really anybody who was born with Pluto and Scorpio or Pluto and Sag. Mainly with the Pluto and Scorpio is because that's trining the Neptune energy of Pisces, and with the Sag energy, it's that mutable fire. And Sagittarius and Pisces kind of go back and forth between who's the most magical. So anybody who has their Pluto in Scorpio or Sagittarius kind of can probably relate to what I'm saying, even if it's not cartoons, it's media. A lot of our divine messages from spirit come through media. Just look at internet memes. Like, they're changing the world. I just wanted to get a really quick card to see what's going on. Embracing enthusiasm, which is shout to the heavens with happiness. So true. This is definitely going to be a week where you want to embrace this enthusiasm for life. Don't get super caught up on the details of your life. Don't get super caught up on the house that you have, the car that you drive, the job that you have, even the relationship that you might be in, your status. Don't worry about all of that. Allow a lot of that to just fall away and just embrace the enthusiasm for now. This is definitely going to be a week where you want to get into the moment and embracing enthusiasm, shouting to the heavens with happiness, like, yes, I am alive, yes, woo, yahoo, hoo! I'm here in this moment, experiencing this, whatever this is, which really, I can look at this right now, this moment, and my mind can define a lot of these things, but I really don't have ultimately words for what's happening. We like to give words to what's happening. We like to define what's happening around us. But really, it's an essence. It's an energy. It's a vibration. And it's hard to describe. I think what this week is what's going to happen is we're going to realize that really indescribable things are going to happen. This has been happening to me, like literally, I feel like language is breaking down. I feel like that's going to be something that happens in the age of Aquarius, where language begins to really break down. Like, it's incredible. Like, it really is. But I've noticed even for me, it's like I trip over my words even more so nowadays, and I consider myself a writer. And it's just weird. It's hard to describe. It's literally, I feel like language is breaking down. It really is. Because language is something that also separates us. The universal language, I believe, is music and dance. But we are definitely shifting into a new world. So I'm going to go day by day about my themes, and then I'm going to hop over here and show you the transits. And then at the end, I will draw cards for each of the signs. So today is Tuesday the 5th, And we have a lot of interesting things that are happening. So the theme I felt, based off of the transits, which I will show you in a minute, is, it's destiny, duh. So you might be looking at your life today, and you're feeling kind of like in between worlds, and you're kind of trying to emotionally process what's going on. And really what's happening is that God, the universe, source is like, well, it's destiny. It's because you are the culmination of all of the decisions, all the actions, and even all the thoughts that you have had up until this point. Not just this life, but past lives. So yes, this moment right here, it's destiny. Whether you believe in destiny, whether you believe in predetermined fate, I believe that we definitely do have free will, but I do believe that free will and what we do leads to a destiny. It leads to a destination. But the destination that we have is not the final destination. You know what I mean? In your current situation, it's not the final destination. There's always more to learn. There's always more to explore. But for the sake of just this reading this week, today, the theme is, it's destiny. Duh. That's what kind of God. Someone's like, it's like, duh. Like, how do you not get this? I think it's us really overcomplicating things. Wednesday the 6th. Is reality real? I think that's where we're going to... And whenever the moon goes into Pisces, we kind of feel this way. Whenever the moon conjuncts Neptune, we really feel this. We're like, is reality real? What is real? What is real? I gotta tell you, my dreams lately have been very real. I have been getting really emotional in my dreams. I have been crying in my dreams, laughing. They've just been feeling so real to me. But it's like, I would look at my dreams and they move kind of fast, and it's very cinematic, and it's very just such like this great adventure in my dreams lately, and very lucid and colorful and vivid, and even I would say aware. And I can just feel myself just working through issues, especially like childhood issues and family stuff, just working through this stuff, and it's been feeling very real, because then I wake up and I'm like, whoa, what just happened? And I'm zapped into this reality where apparently this is the real reality. And I'm like, this is just another elaborate dream. So is reality real? That's what Wednesday is. Thursday the 7th, we have unlocking emotional potential. And I'm being kind of called, and I've mentioned it on this channel before, this scene in the Avatar release, like Korra, you know, the legend of Korra, where as a young child she went to the spirit realm, and when she began to cry, a storm brewed, and a lot of the beings near her began to feel off that energy. And I guess it was like her great grandfather or something like that was telling her that emotions mean everything in the spiritual realm. And I think we're starting to really realize just how powerful our emotions are. So unlocking emotional potential is us realizing that, well, you know how they show in the cartoons when a cloud's over someone's head and it's like raining and they're like sad and they're droopy and they're like all depressed? What about when you're feeling happy? Is there a sun right there shining down brightly on you? Is that what Jesus knew? Is that what any of these spiritual leaders knew when the art depicts a sun behind their head, the crown of thorns? How come we don't really see that much in our media? Unlocking emotional potential. Because it's not just the negative emotions. You know, we have the positive emotions too. So what is the true power of these positive emotions? And you're supposed to feel all the emotions, you know. You're supposed to feel the entire spectrum. But what is the true power of the positive emotions? I believe we're going to be unlocking that. Friday the 8th is when the universe talks, shut up and listen. When the universe talks, you shut up and listen. The universe is always talking to us, but there are some times where it's like the universe likes to watch us and watch us in this play, this drama, and it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. But then there are other times where the narrator just comes in and has to set the scene and has to set up what's going on. And we can't be so caught up in trying to keep the play going. We need to listen to the universe. We need to listen to the universe. Listen to God, Goddess. So that's what Friday the 8th is when the universe talks, shut up and listen. Saturday the 9th, we have emotionally processing these changes. Saturday's kind of an interesting day because transit-wise, it's rather low-key because there's not anything major happening. It's just really the moon making aspects. But this means that we're kind of emotionally processing what's been happening this week. And how really we're seeing that really everything goes. This moment right now is destiny. But we also are unlocking our potential. And we're realizing that things are changing forever. Things are definitely changing forever. Uranus shifted to the first degree of Taurus. It will retrograde back into Aries. But after that, when it goes into Taurus, it won't be back there for another 80 plus years. That's huge. So things are definitely shifting forever. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And we're mainly going to be emotionally processing all these changes. On the 10th, we have tending to that inner garden. And I'm not trying to really bite off the theme of like soul garden, but I almost really feel like that's what the 10th is. We are actually tending to our inner garden. Making sure that we're watering the plants, watering our flowers, making sure that everything's in order, making sure that bugs are not just eating all of the leaves and the flowers, making sure that this inner ecosystem of this garden is in flow. So I feel like we're really going to be tending to that inner garden. And on Monday the 11th, it's going to be like, wow, what gorgeous growth. Because this year we have really been forced to change, to grow and evolve at such a rapid pace. And it's really going to keep going like this until Mars goes retrograde. That's when things are going to kind of slow down, right? But until then, it's going to be like go, 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 rapid pace, rapid fire, change, 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 transform, transform, transform. Woo! Wow, what gorgeous growth. That's what Monday is. We're going to be looking at it, our lives. And no matter... it's really like you have to kind of drop any expectations you have for yourself or other people. Because it's going to be like, wow, look at how far I have grown. I think it's incredible, especially when you consider the unlocking the emotional potential and how plants grow towards the sun. They lean towards that light. That if we can begin to envision not rain clouds over our head, even though we don't want to just disregard the rain clouds, but remember that when the sun comes out, there's also a rainbow there. And then those plants will grow towards the sun, grow towards the light, and we will experience that deep growth from within. Those are the themes of the week. Anything goes into simulation. That's what I'm really feeling. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and hop on over to the chart and let's go ahead and let me just show you really what's going on, all right? Alright guys, so as you can see here, I have this ran for June the 5th, 5:49 p.m. This is the current transit as of right now, 6:12. So we have the moon in Pisces at 5 degrees right here. And really what's happening is that, you can see we have this king concept, the sun made to Jupiter. And king concepts are kind of like this. I see these as like awkwardly staring at someone from across the room. It's like, right now the sun in Gemini is really wanting to open up communication and is very vibrant and just really loves to be chatty. But Jupiter and Scorpio, especially retrograde in this review period, it's like, we kind of have to like dive into these depths and really kind of begin to figure out what makes us tick, what makes us, what sparks that desire from within us. So the sun and Jupiter are going to kind of be awkwardly looking at each other, because while the sun wants to have these conversations and kind of be light, Jupiter's kind of being deep. It's like, well, we have to consider these things. And the sun's like, it doesn't necessarily want to be deep right now. It wants to be surface level. It wants to be playful. So there's going to be this awkward energy, and Mercury's catching up to here too. So even our mind wants to feel light. Our mind wants to feel more playful, whereas Jupiter is wanting to unlock these deeper hidden treasures. And the Sun and Mercury is like, they don't really want to have that. They don't really want to think about that deep stuff. They want to kind of keep things light. So there's going to be kind of this awkward energy playing out between the Sun and Mercury and Jupiter. Now, of course, we have to consider this. The Sun and Mercury will be coming into its conjunction. So they'll be conjunct quincunxing Jupiter during this time. This is really powerful because anytime that the Sun and Mercury conjunct, this is like really a message directly from Spirit. And in the terms of this is going to be about how can we balance our own minds? How can we actually find harmony within our minds? That's really what this is about. How can we find balance and harmony within our minds? How can we find balance and harmony when we communicate with each other as well? But it's going to start from within. This conjunction is really going to bring about this epiphany that about really your mind, and really almost how to think differently. That's really kind of what I see this as too. And as you can see, both these energies are squaring Neptune at the same time. So it's like we are wanting to kind of keep things light, but if you know anything about Pisces, they can go anything from playing in the shallow pool and the kiddie pool to going to the Marianas Trench. Like that, there's like no, it's like Pisces has such a huge range, and now that Neptune's going into the upper half of Pisces, we're starting to kind of dive in deeper. So it's like we're wanting to keep things light, and we're wanting to, like, you know, keep things a little bit more on that side. But we're having to kind of dive deep to really figure out, well, what is reality to us? Do these deeper desires, what really turns us on, you know? That's what I've been talking about this whole time. So what really turns us on? Now, I also want to point you to this right here. This is really a powerful day. This is why I said Tuesday is really this day of, it's destiny, duh. The moon is at 7 degrees of Pisces, sextiling Saturn at 7 degrees, Saturn retrograde at 7 degrees of Capricorn. And both these energies are king-kung-sing the North Node in Leo at 7 degrees. So emotionally, we're kind of awkwardly looking at our destiny and where we're heading at in life, and looking at our heart space, and we're wondering, like, should we really pursue that? Because the last time I got into my heart space, maybe I got hurt, maybe it didn't work out. And then Saturn's kind of looking at this space, awkwardly saying that, yeah, it's cool to express the inner child and to be playful and joyful in the moment, but we got work to do. These energies are going to be sextiling each other. So the moon and Saturn are going to kind of understand and get each other, but they're going to be, we have this yod forming because we also have Mars involved, which is opposing this energy, and Mars is beginning to conjunct the South Node in Aquarius. So it's like there's really they call Yod the finger of God, and literally God is like flipping us the bird, saying, it's destiny. Where you are right now is destiny. What are you going to do about it though? Or do you want to do anything about it? I think we're kind of making a decision here, but it's like we're being really, and there's a lot of 7 energy. We have 7 here, 1 plus 6 is 7, 7. So it's this energy of, you know, spirituality. It's this energy of almost kind of like this luck and fortune in a way, but also just there's a bit of mysticism with this energy, right? So as I move this along, the moon is going to continue on, and it gets closer to closer. This is the 6th right here, right? And the moon is getting closer and closer and closer to this conjunction with Neptune. And Mercury begins to come off the Sun conjunction, even though it's still kind of conjunct. And Mercury is squaring Neptune. You see? So this is really, this square is like our mind is trying to wrap itself around reality right now. And it's really hard to do that. This is why, like, honestly, if you have crazy delusional thoughts, you're not crazy and delusional. It's just Neptune and freaking Pisces. And the moon is here. So you're already feeling that reality is just weird and shifting. But don't get upset if you're trying to figure out reality and it's just you simply can't wrap your mind around it. You're not supposed to right now. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to really kind of just enjoy the journey and just kind of watch things unfold. As we move the moon forward, the moon's going to trine Jupiter, and then it's going to come into its conjunction with Neptune. And this right here is really just going to be this spiritual, I think whenever the moon conjuncts Neptune, it's like this spiritual wake-up call, but like a spiritual kind of like a wash. It's like, now it's like we're going through like a bit of this renewal, and it's almost like this deeper epiphany. With it trining over to Jupiter, and as you can see, the sun is now officially enters 16 degrees. Look at all the 7 energy now. 1 plus 6 is 7. 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 7. 7. Like, this is a time where really, and there's a lot of 6 energy too, because we have 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, where we're looking to try and balance our current reality and the way that we feel with where spirit is guiding us. That's really what this is all about. Now we're having to emotionally process where spirit is guiding us and kind of just allowing ourselves to kind of go with the flow, but realizing that it's all beautiful. The moon will be trining over to Jupiter, so it's like we're kind of giving this this go-ahead of going after these deeper desires and wants, but Jupiter still is retrograde, so we're still reviewing. We're still in this review period, right? So we continue to move this forward. The moon, I believe by the end of the day on June 6th, the moon will sextile Pluto retrograde, which, Venus is coming off the opposition to Pluto, which was really us emotionally processing and really us guarding our vibration and realizing that while things are collapsing, we have to make sure, because Pluto is like the building like collapsing right now, and then Cancer, Venus and Cancer opposing that was like the foundation, like still standing after the tornado has come and torn everything up. And it's like, all right, well, I have this, it's learning to establish this strong emotional foundation for that when events come up and they kind of whip you around, you're still solid in your vibration. You're still solid in this emotional stability that really allows you to guide this magic and to direct this magic. This is how you actually rise from the ashes. This is why Cancer energy trines Scorpio energy, because it's like when the Scorpio, when the Phoenix puffs, when the Phoenix is old and it dies and it bursts into flames and it turns into ash and it seems like nothing is there. How do you think it magically rises from those ashes? It's because emotionally it knows that it can never really die. So it's like, this is almost kind of what Cancer teaches, and this is why the energy trines it anyways. It's like, we have to realize that, like, yeah, the energy never dies, but then Cancer is about directing that emotion, directing that water, directing that magic. So really, as the moon is going to sextile Pluto, it's going to kind of receive this communication from Pluto about what it learned from its opposition to Venus. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, with these two energies going toe-to-toe, Pluto's honestly going to win. But like, if you want to look at it as a win, as of someone who wins and someone who loses, it's not really like that. They're both teaching each other something. But it's going to appear that Pluto wins, even though it's retrograde. But Venus is also going to teach Pluto something very profound. And when the moon sextiles Pluto, we're going to come into the awareness of that. We move this forward to June 7th, and we can see that now the moon is going to make its trine over to Venus. So now the moon is going to be like, oh, I get it now. This is us really starting to begin to unlock our emotional potential, because I think what it is that Pluto's going to kind of come in and wreck Venus, but afterwards Venus is still going to be kind of standing, and Pluto's going to be like, wow, kudos to you, that was amazing, and you did that with such beauty and grace. You know what? I'm going to tell the moon this, so by the time that the moon trines your energy and you guys establish that harmonious connection, you'll be able to emotionally understand what just happened. And you'll be able to emotionally rise from those ashes. You'll be able to emotionally arise and really push forward and begin to unlock the emotional potential that comes from water bending. Cancer actually teaches water bending. Why? Because with Cancer is cardinal water, which means it's about direction and it's about guiding the water. So Cancers are actually water benders. Actually, anybody who has a cardinal sign, they are the benders, and we all can. the cardinal signs especially are proficient at this. Capricorns are especially proficient at earthbending. Aries are especially proficient at firebending. Libras are especially proficient at airbending, and Cancers are especially proficient at waterbending because they know how to direct these elements. When the moon trines over to Venus, we're now going to start to learn how to waterbend in a more profound way and how to direct this magic. So we move this forward, and the moon's going to continue forward, and not really much else happens this day. Well, that's not true, because as you can see, the moon, by the evening, Eastern time, is going to shift into Aries. So it's now that we're carrying our new water bending abilities, or we're starting to learn how to water bend more. Now we're going to take this energy into fire, and now we're going to really be awakened to our fire bending abilities. Why? Because look at this. The moon is going to actually conjunct Chiron. Now this is really important because, as I said, this is cardinal fire, and Chiron is actually at 2 degrees, and 2 is naturally ruled by the moon. So the moon and Chiron are definitely want to kind of be vibing and understanding each other. And this is going to be a very interesting energy because now that we're learning our water bending, we're actually going to be able to begin to heal ourselves with this, because like you can direct healing purified water to different parts of your emotional body, or even your physical and mental body, and begin to heal these aspects with your emotions. And then when the moon comes over Chiron, we're going to be beginning to unlock, literally because it's a key, we're going to be unlocking our firebending potential. But we have to unlock this water because we have to heal. Because if we didn't heal and we didn't learn our waterbending abilities, and we didn't go through that, once the moon had hit Chiron at the 2nd degrees and it's fire, we literally could just burn things down. But this is really actually literally the phoenix rising up. When the moon conjuncts Chiron, this is us rising from kind of those ashes with that Venus and Pluto opposition, and the moon going through Pisces, which is almost kind of like this in-between state where we're like in the ashes, we're in the dream world, we're in the spirit world, we're feeling ourselves being revived. And when the moon conjuncts Chiron, we're opening up the door to this new reality. We're being reborn as the phoenix, and we are learning our fire bending abilities. And we have to kind of start off at this novice level. Unless you are a fire sign, you'll kind of already get this more, or if you have a lot of fire in your chart. And of course, Aries will be more proficient at this naturally because they're a sign of action. But with it happening at 2 degrees, it has to happen at this point because in many ways, we all are kind of becoming more of a student at firebending. I don't know why I'm using a lot of bending terms in this. It's just kind of what I've been channeling though. So we move forward to the 8th, and as the moon makes its transit throughout Aries, it's going to start to make aspects to these other planets. As you can see, now it comes to 7 degrees, and this is important because it makes a sextile to Mars, it makes a square to Saturn, and it makes a trine to the North Node. Now, what is this saying? This is saying that Mars is really focused on the future right now, even though it's in shadow period. It's really focused on the future and really how to innovate and how to take actions that really benefit the whole. And so the moon sextile this spot is that emotionally we're going to start to feel more confident that we can move into a future that is bright, that we can move into a future that is more conducive to our higher spiritual nature, to this higher vibration. But the moon's also going to be squaring Capricorn, and this is really going to be speaking to us having to take purposeful action, because Saturn is this energy where we kind of decide to do things. And with Saturn retrograde, it's really asking us deeper. It's like, realizing that the actions you take, are really important. It's a planet of karma. Pisces is also an energy of karma, so we're going to be coming off that. So we're really beginning to know just how important every little action we take is. The way that you are going to know what action to take is this trine with the North Node. Is it in line with your heart? Are you living from your heart? Do you trust your heart? And that's a really big thing. Do you even trust your heart? We have to consider also, look what's happening here. We have this opposition. This is like the big one. Like some of the big days, of course, are going to be today that I'm recording this Tuesday, and also Friday, because we have Mars, and it doesn't show it here, but Mars conjunct the South Node, opposed the North Node. Now, this is huge. Why? Because this is us really wanting to move in this direction where we want to innovate and we want to move things forward and we want to look towards the future, but it is the South Node in Aquarius. So it's like we have to be even extra innovative. We can't just fall into the crowd and what everyone wants. We have to be a little bit more discerning. We have to have more of a more intellectual fluidity, which is interesting because the South Node in Aquarius, that's really what it is. If it's the North Node in Aquarius, then that's a little bit more fixed and rigid. If it's the South Node in Aquarius, it's about having more of an intellectual fluidity, because it's like, anything really goes, right? And we have to really realize that right now God's pointing us towards our heart. God's pointing us towards our inner child, passion, what really ignites us. So Mars is going to be sextiling the moon. So emotionally, we're going to be wanting to feel the move in a particular direction. But we have to remember, A, is it really responsible? Is it conducive to this higher spiritual nature? B, are we rebelling? Is our rebelling actually making us more of a conformist? I almost feel like all of these, and this is going to sound weird, but we have so much activism these days, and a lot of people rebelling, and a lot of people standing up for particular causes, and I think it's great. But I said this a while back. When the South Node is in the Aquarius, you have to rebel differently. You can't rebel in the same way. And I don't think people really get that. I think Mars is going to want to, when Mars conjuncts the South Node, be prepared to see interesting things in the news regarding this. Something might pop up with different organizations and stuff. But we have to do it in a different way. That's what really the universe is calling us to do. Honestly, the way to rebel is to just be unapologetically you. And tap into your heart space and tap into your inner child. Listen to what your inner child wants to say. I don't think really the inner child is super concerned about being, overly reactive to what someone says about you. I don't think a child really cares. I don't think a child really cares if you, truthfully, if they're really just in that playful mode, in that exuberant mode. I think a child could really care less what insults you throw at him. But the South Node of Aquarius is everyone's super reactive to these insults. And when Mars hits a spot, it's going to ignite this even more. It's going to bring about some anger. But you have to consider that Mars isn't moving very fast. It's in shadow period. It's going to go retrograde soon. So it's we have to realize that we are at a time right now where things are shifting. We're being caught into our hearts. And yes, the world is changing forever. Yes, we do have to change the way that society looks. Yes, we do have to kind of rebel a bit. But we have to do so in a way that we've never done. We can't do it in the old way. And that's really going to be the lesson of the 8th. Because when the universe talks, you shut up and listen. I'll move this forward to the moon continues its transit in Aries, and all that really begins, that's going to set the tone, because that's really in the first part of the day. The moon makes a quincunx over to Jupiter, so like I said, there's going to be this awkward stare between the moon, and as it goes, revolves around our ego and our actions and our behaviors, kind of awkwardly looking at Jupiter, because Jupiter's going to be looking at the moon as I guess you may feel like you have to act that way, but is that way really going to bring about what you really want on a deeper level? That's really what they're going to be kind of communicating about. We move on to the 9th, Saturday, which I feel is just like a day of emotional processing. Because really it's just going to be the moon that's making aspects. So there's not really much else happening here. We have loose trines here. Venus has really moved forward to the 24 degrees. So the Grand Water Trine, we're kind of coming out the end of that energy. But we do have the moon, which is going to be sextiling over to the sun this day. We also are going to have later in the day, as I move this forward, we're going to have the moon squaring Pluto. And then those two are in the morning, and then we have the moon also making a sextile over to Mercury, and it will square Venus later on too. So really this day is just about kind of what the moon is doing, how we kind of go through 2 squares and then 2 sextiles. It's actually interesting, and they actually go in that order: sextile, square, sextile, square. So the first sextile is to the sun. So we are going to be feeling emotionally, we're going to be wanting to definitely have conversations and wanting to act. So it's like you might have a conversation earlier in the day that really wants to spur you towards some sort of action. But then it's going to square Pluto, which is going to be talking about, is it transforming? How is it transforming your sense of order? Or how is it? I'm trying to come up with the right words for this. Is there much of a foundation for what action you're trying to take? Or has that foundation already been kind of destroyed by Pluto? That's kind of what it is. And I know that sounds dark, but I am Pluto ruled. I am a Scorpio, so that's really what it is. It's like you might have this conversation that might spur something that might inspire you, but then it's like, well, is that foundation really going to do anything for you? Can you really see any transformation with that type of action? Then it's going to sextile Mercury, which is talking about the mind. So you're going to kind of come back as like, well, yeah, I think it can. I think that this action will definitely transform me in my life and transform my ego and my behavior and will push me in a positive direction. So you're going to be, this is you learning more of that fire bending and trying to direct that fiery passion of yours. But then it's going to square Venus. Was like, well, do you feel good about it? So it's very interesting because it's like we're going to be kind of like going back and forth on Saturday, emotionally processing these changes that we're going through. So we continue, and as we slip into Sunday, the moon is going to enter into Taurus, which is going to bring about this emotional grounding. The moon is exalted here. So this is really going to be a positive energy because after kind of an emotional roller coaster the day before, going up and down, and really just all of the processing that we've done with that moon starting off in Pisces, when it comes into Taurus, we're really going to be feeling this grounding energy, and it's almost going to kind of like pause time a bit, because when the moon comes into Taurus, it's like time kind of does slow down a bit, where we can kind of just stop and just kind of like, just kind of smell the flowers, just kind of chill a bit, lay in the grass, watch the clouds roll by, try and spot, cool symbols in the clouds. One of the things I see in the clouds a lot are elephants, so, and the elephant happens to be a totem animal of Libra. But anyways, that's beside the point. The moon is going to conjunct Uranus. This is going to be the first time it makes this conjunction with Uranus while it's at the 1st degree. So emotionally, we're going to catch up to these changes when it comes to, our physical reality and this deeper quantum thunderbolt that we received when Uranus hit that 1st degree. So this conjuncting, it's really going to be us starting to learn how to tend to this inner garden, how to tend to this inner peace, to tend to our emotions, to tend to these flowers, to the plants. This is really going to be us really beginning to understand why things have kind of happened the way they are. And it's really going to give us like this emotional understanding of this is kind of how reality is, but it is changing. So what can you do to make it more beautiful? Ah, yes, what can you do to make it more beautiful? Yes, I love that. I love that so much. The moon's going to continue, and as it goes throughout the day, it's going to make... Alright, so once it gets to that 7-degree mark, it's going to make squares to Mars in the south node and to the north node in Leo, and it's also going to be trining Saturn. So it's going to be kind of like, we're definitely going to be emotionally feeling like, this is us kind of having to do a bit of the get a little bit dirt on our hands. This is us like maybe realizing that we have to kind of like transplant some flowers so they can grow better. This will be us shifting things around our life so they can receive more sun. And with this square to Mars and the South Node in Aquarius, we're going to be kind of feeling like we want to detach, and we don't necessarily want to act and do that sort of thing, because we kind of want to go out and mingle a bit and kind of go out and really try and almost save the world, but this isn't really the time to do that. And when it's squaring this the North Node, it's like we're feeling in our heart that it's definitely the right choice, but it might not be necessarily comfortable. We might not necessarily want to take the time to move this plant from this spot over to the other spot. But we have to do it in order for it to grow. Why? Because Saturn's even encouraging this. Excuse me. Saturn's encouraging this energy of this grounding. And really, honestly, when you kind of rearrange this and you look back at your garden, your flower bed, and this inner garden, and the changes that you have made, it's going to allow you to feel better. Because like I said, the moon is exalted in Taurus, so it's going to allow you to feel better. You're just going to just feel clearer, and you're going to be like, wow, this is really beautiful. This really is quite beautiful. As the moon continues, and we enter into Monday the 11th, the moon is going to oppose Jupiter. So it's like, this is going to be, Jupiter is wanting to, of course, uncover these deeper treasures and these deeper wants and desires and emotions. The moon in Taurus really just wants to smell at the flowers. Doesn't really care about getting really super deep at this point. The moon is really more or less kind of concerned with just tending to the garden, not really caring so much about the roots at this point. Especially since Jupiter is in a review period, I think the roots are honestly kind of taken care of. And I think that's what we're sort of being reminded of. And as the moon continues, it's going to come into a sextile with Neptune, which this is really, once again, kind of being reminded of our water bending abilities. And looking at just how far we've come, this is going to be actually in many ways us watering our plants. Because we're gonna wake up the next day after the moon conjunct Uranus, and we're tending to our inner garden, rearranging things. The next day we go out, the sun is shining, we're watering our plants, and the plants just start dancing because this is Neptune. So they're just gonna start dancing, and they're gonna just grow several inches right in front of your face, and you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, look at this gorgeous growth. Look how beautiful this is. And there's going to be other great aspects too, because we have the moon is going to trine. Hold on, let me move this up a little bit more. Yeah, the moon is going to trine Pluto. So this is we're emotionally feeling better about this transformation, about rearranging this garden and rearranging our emotional foundation, so we feel more secure and we feel like we can actually really water bend. And then it's going to come into later on in the evening, later into the evening really, as the moon is just about getting to the tail end of Taurus. And as the day is coming to a close, we are really starting to finally open up to, yeah, I made the right changes. Yeah, I am emotionally moving in the right direction. Yeah, it's good that I moved that plant over there because it received more sun, and it was really happy when I did so. And it's almost like this is going to be even our garden is going to be speaking back to us, saying, thank you for tending to us. Thank you for rearranging things. this sextile to Venus is really going to be a beautiful energy, because we're going to be feeling really just emotionally fulfilled. We're going to be feeling this is just going to be a time where we just like sit back in our garden and just like maybe you have a cup of tea and just really enjoy things, or if you really want to be about it, maybe you just like make yourself like a margarita or a nice glass of wine, and you just sit back and just enjoy your garden. You just enjoy the moment, and you just breathe it in, and you just are so thankful for the moment. You shout out to the heavens with that embracing enthusiasm oracle card that I received earlier, because this is really, you're going to really begin to know what true happiness is. It's not something that you chase. It's not necessarily even something that you just try and like accumulate. It's something that you are. It's something that you are able to tap into. It doesn't necessarily have too many parameters. It doesn't necessarily have too many, I won't say recommendations, or I guess necessities. I'm trying to find the right word for it. But this is really going to be emotionally us opening up to this great transformation that's going to happen this week, and how we're realizing that, yeah, the world is changing forever. Things are moving fast, but things are going to slow down. We have to take time to process things, and really anything goes in the simulation. Anything really goes, and really, if you learn how to harness the magic, if you learn how to harness those water bending abilities, which honestly, that grand shrine in water was us remembering our water bending abilities. And then this week we're going to start to like learn more about our water bending, and then we're going to begin to activate our fire bending abilities too. When Mars goes retrograde into Capricorn and then goes direct in Capricorn, that's when we're going to begin to learn more of our earth bending. And as far as air bending, we don't really have any energies in Libra at this current moment. That's actually going to be when we learn the air bending ability. This is just looking forward into the future. This is when Venus moves into Scorpio and retrogrades back into Libra. That's when we begin to learn more of our air bending. This is going to be literally a year of us learning how to work with the elements in a more profound and proficient way. But yeah, that's the astrology for this week, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and draw, I'm going to draw color cards actually, because I haven't messed with this deck in a while. And I said this is like, I feel like this is going to be definitely a week of great healing. But yeah, thank you so much for, still, if you happen to have watched it to this point, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Anything goes in the simulation. So what do you want to create? What do you want to bring forward? What do you want to manifest? Of course, make sure that you are, tapping into your heart. Make sure that you feel good about it, and just kind of take things step by step, day by day. So we're going to start with Aries. So Aries, we actually have Burgundy, awaken your passion. This is really, honestly, that moon conjuncting Chiron in your sign. You're going to be awakening up to this passion, and then you have this Yah with the finger from God happening at the beginning of the week. Is really saying once you. And look, it's sipping on wine. So Aries, you definitely out of the sign at the end when you're just chilling in your garden, in this mystical garden that you have created, and you kind of rearranged to make you feel better. You are going to be sipping that wine and be you're just going to take a nice sip, and you're just going to feel just more passionate. You're going to feel just more you can do anything. You're going to be just feeling it more. With the as this week continues and as this week comes to a close, definitely super powerful. Taurus, the healing card that we have for you. Taurus, we have Cherry, which is live an extraordinary life. This is yeah. So maybe you're going to be eating cherries in the garden. Maybe it's you're going to. Maybe you have, I don't know if cherries grow on trees or on vines or whatever, but maybe you have a cherry plant and you move this cherry plant to another location, and maybe this plant wasn't really doing anything. Maybe you thought it was on the verge of dying. But then when you transplant it, it's just going to just boom, and then cherries are going to pop out, and then the cherry plant is going to just say, thank you, namaste, thank you. And it's just going to reach out and just pop a cherry in your mouth and be live an extraordinary life. Live an extraordinary life every single day. Just feel that love, feel that enthusiasm, and just do it. Just especially with Uranus in your sign, and Uranus is really the planet of the extraordinary. This, you really are being kind of taught how to live an extraordinary life and how to manifest it. So you're going to come definitely by the end of this week into extraordinary manifestations, or at least you're going to start to believe that you can have these extraordinary manifestations. Gemini. And by the way, these go for whether you have your sun, moon, or rising in any of these signs, or if you just want to hang out with that tribe, if you want to hang out with that energy. So Gemini, the card that we have for you, everything's along like the reddish scope right now. We actually have Rose, which is attract a relationship. This is awesome, Gemini, because you rule the lovers in tarot. So maybe you do attract a relationship this week that really does feel good, and you feel like you can kind of create a life with this person. Or maybe even like you go to this person's garden, or they show you their garden, they show you their garden. You guys begin to kind of like communicate about this and intermingle, and kind of even give each other some pointers and stuff about that. But you know, of course, stick to your heart. But this attractive relationship, I believe, first starts with you. You want to attract a beautiful relationship with yourself and create that with yourself, with God and the universe, and I believe that you are going to attract that in a person as well. If you're single, definitely you might go on a very extraordinary date this week, Gemini. And this person, like, you're a chatty sign, so this is someone that you literally can just be up all night talking to, and you probably will. If you are coupled, then be prepared to have a conversation all night with your partner, okay? Cancer, beautiful Cancer. The card that we have for you, two cards popped out for you. We have Indigo and we have Silver. We have improve your vision and be persistent. This is about you improving your water bending, and you're kind of like envisioning how to move the water, and then you also being persistent at the same time with going along this path, because people might be looking at you, Cancer, and trying to be like, you know, Venus is in your sign, so this has been making you a little bit more emotional lately, but also it's really been important for you lately to really safeguard your vibration. So people might not necessarily understand that, but this is about you improving your vision, this goal that you're wanting to attain, this emotional foundation of security, and be persistent, because this is going to pay out. There's a silver lining, and you are really going to be teaching people this week how to really water bend, right? Very beautiful. All right. But Cancer, you have to take care of yourself first. You have to take care of yourself first. Leo, the cat. It's the cat. He's Leo. That's the little lame song I have for my cat. Leo, the card that we have for you is Tangerine. Be spontaneous and have fun. I don't think I really need to tell you that. This is literally telling you to be a child, be a kid, do something fun. Earlier today, we went to the pool, and there was this little kid there. He was adorable. He was like screaming, I can't swim, but he had like little floaties on and stuff, so he was floating. And he was like, a shark, and he had like this little inflatable shark toy that he was playing with. And we ended up kind of playing with this kid a bit, and it was just kind of fun because I wasn't really thinking that we were going to do that, but it was just kind of spontaneous on the spur of the moment. And I was grabbing the shark, I was like, I'm gonna get you, and he's like, That's kind of what you want to do. Just be a kid this week. Do something fun. Go out, have fun. Go to the club. Go dancing. Or just do something that you consider to be fun. If fun for you is chilling with a couple of your closest friends and playing a board game like Monopoly, and kick ass. I know Monopoly ruins lives, but try and have fun with it. But if that's what your definition of fun is, go for it. If your definition of fun is reading an entire book that's like 300 pages and just blocking out the whole day to read this book, then do that. But whatever it is, Leo, do something fun this week. It's really going to help you in a great way. It's going to be very, very healing. Virgo, the card that we have for you Virgo, we also have be spontaneous and have fun. So Virgo, you might have been feeling like, you know, you've been trying to figure out all the details, you've been trying to figure out your work life, you've been trying to figure out your day-to-day reality, your relationships, and you're sitting here like, oh my goodness, I have so many things to figure out, I have so many errands to run. Take a chill pill, take a chill pill, relax. This is what I mean by language is breaking down. But be spontaneous and have fun. Just relax a bit and stop, and don't worry about all the details for once in your life. Just chill, relax, and be spontaneous. Have fun, and just remember to embrace the enthusiasm of this moment. Try not to worry about all the crazy details. Try not to worry about all of these fine little facets. Leave that up to Spirit this week. Leave that up to God this week. God will take care of you. God will take care of you. Be spontaneous. Have fun, okay? Go chill with Leo. Let Leo take you to the club. Libra, the card that we have for you is Azure. Protect yourself. Libra, this is really interesting. This is like, you know, this shows like you being up in the clouds. Really, what I see this as is really your angels are really going to be protecting you this week heavily, Libra. And really, you definitely want to meditate and pray and just protect yourself emotionally this week, and protect yourself in the way where, like, you want to protect your joy, you want to protect your happiness, you want to protect your laughter. So when you go into situations that potentially might trigger you, just have that awareness and respond differently. Choose to respond differently. This is actually a great affirmation I've been using lately. Is I choose to respond differently. I use this mainly for work, when I feel like certain things might trigger me or I might get upset. And literally, I notice, especially when I do this at the beginning of work, and I say to myself, I choose to respond differently. I choose to respond differently. I choose to respond differently. I have no choice but to respond differently, and my day is more peaceful, it's more harmonious. And Libra, you are the peacemaker, so if you choose to respond differently, you are really protecting yourself, and you really can have fun this week and really enjoy this transformation. Scorpio, the card that we have for you. Oh, you, just like Cancer, you have two cards. So this something's going on with waterbending this week. We have Discover Your Sparkle and Purify Your Body. This is this Scorpio. This for you is in many ways. This is you discovering just how beautiful you are, and when it says purify your body, this is you realizing the purity of who you are. Scorpio is definitely in many ways a sign of purity. People like to think that Scorpio is so dark and stuff, but really, Scorpio is digging past all of that darkness to find that pure gem, that pure light. And you're going to be purifying your body and purging and going through this emotional cleansing. And then you're going to get to this spot where you discover your purity. And then you're going to be like, brilliant. It's because it's brilliant. You're going to discover your sparkle. It's really going to be quite amazing. You know, like I said, purifying your body, discovering this brilliance. And it's almost going to be like when you get to that spot, it's almost going to be kind of like do a meditation this week where you imagine yourself sitting under a waterfall. And then just kind of just going within and allowing the water to kind of crash around you. And then you're just sitting there. And then just see this spark from behind your eyelids. It's just like spark. And you'll just start to discover your sparkle. Discover it's how beautiful you are. No, you're not a sparkling vampire. You are far greater than that, Scorpio. Sagittarius, the card that we have for you. Your card also fell out. We also have Live an Extraordinary Life. So you and Sagittarius got the same card. Sagittarius, this is, you know, you're coming off of that full moon that happened in your sign. And then, of course, we are going to have a new moon in Gemini that occurs next week. So I'll talk more about that in that video and even like, or at least in that weekly and in the new moon video itself. But you definitely are going to be feeling like you know, you want to go on this grand adventure and you want to really move things forward, but you are kind of having to learn to process your emotions. The Sagittarius, sometimes you like to run away from your emotions, but I think once you come out the end of this week, you're going to be like, all right, let's go, let's do this, because you're going to be feeling more emotionally fulfilled. You worked on your emotional foundation. You kind of retreated, you came home, you worked on this, and then it's like, oh my goodness, this is great, I feel great. It's almost like you are kind of working on your home base. So you can have a really comfortable place to come back to with all of the souvenirs and great stories that you're going to have from your travels. You want to actually create a space that is conducive for this. You want to create a space that will allow you to bring back all these beautiful souvenirs. This is going to be really about you. You know, you want to create that extraordinary life, you know. Sagittarius, you do sextile Aquarius energy, so you're definitely going to be feeling, this is the card for Capricorn, you're definitely going to be feeling this need to have a more extraordinary life. But it is going to require you to tend to that inner emotional garden. Capricorn, interesting enough, as I was already shuffling before I even finished Sagittarius, we have pink, which is let love in, and lilac, which is strengthen your faith. This is literally you strengthening your faith in love. That's really what this is about. Saturn is King Kong, you King Kong's Leo energy. Saturn is going to be King Kong seeing the North Node. And Pluto is in your sign, kind of just like you're going through like this big transformational period. So you're strengthening your faith by letting love in. That's really what this is about. You are learning to strengthen your faith by letting love in, loving yourself, loving others, just feeling the love. Can you feel it? Can you feel the love? Nothing feels better than feeling the love. If anybody can tell me what that reference is from, then you are freaking awesome, by the way. Because I've said it multiple times on this channel, and I love that saying. But just saying, if you know what that reference is, comment in the section below. That'd be awesome. Letting the love in, Capricorn. Alright, Aquarius. Aquarius, the card that we have for you is Ruby, which is rejuvenate your body. This is an interesting card because, the rubies are very, they're very pretty, they're very valuable, really like them. But rejuvenating your body, Mars is in your sign, so this is probably asking you to kind of do something that really begins to uplift and inspire your body and gets kind of the energy flowing again. Go for a swim, go for a run, go to the park, ride a bike, do something like that that really kind of gets your energy going. Go jump on a trampoline, anything. Exercise for you this week, Aquarius, would be really good. I think it would be an awesome way for you to be able to process your emotions is while you're doing something like this, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but since Mars is in your sign, and Mars, while it's in Aquarius, it likes to kind of act innovatively. So you're going to be acting innovatively and like healing yourself emotionally by kind of getting active and doing stuff this week. So it's definitely going to be a powerful week where any type of change and this is funny because literally my fiance, who is an Aquarius, is kind of doing this. She's doing actually a juice cleanse right now where she is really having just fruit smoothies and like only one meal a day. So she's actually rejuvenating her body. It's really quite awesome. So yeah, do something that really gets you more in touch with your body and you can start to feel that energy and feel the magic. And Pisces, the card that we have for you. Oof. We have Peach. I think you got this card last time. You got this card before, I feel. Inhale a breath of life. Things are peachy. Pisces, you more so than anyone, and I even said this in your weekly or your bi-weekly, that the first half of the month is really going to feel slower for you compared to other people. And that's really because you're going to be breathing in. You're going to be just breathing in life. You're going to be breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Look at that. Pisces, Ralph Smart's a Pisces, and I draw Peach, inhale a breath of life. So Pisces, literally breathe in that good ass prana and go watch Ralph Smart. Just go binge some of his videos. I'm a Pisces moon, so I probably will go binge some of his videos. I used to watch him a lot more often, but whenever I watch him, it's always just refreshing and always just super magical. The card that I have for everybody this week, the card that I have for everyone is apricot. This is rejoice and laugh. Rejoice and laugh. That's amazing because it's like anything goes in this simulation. Absolutely. But look at what I drew earlier for the theme: embracing enthusiasm. Shout to the heavens with happiness. And rejoice and laugh in the moment. Rejoice and laugh that you are here, and rejoice and laugh for everything. It is beautiful. It is divine. Yes, there are crazy stuff that happens. Yes, there are things that need to be worked out. Yes, there is light. Yes, there is dark. But rejoice and laugh because you are here. You are experiencing this. You are vitally strong, far more abundant than you can possibly imagine. You are infinitely abundant. Rejoice and laugh because we should just celebrate. Celebrate good times. Come on. Da 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 da. Celebrate. Celebrate good times. Come on. Dun 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 dun. And if any of the shadows and any of the darkness tries to come at you this week, just be like Raven here and be like, evil beware, we have waffles. You'd be surprised at how powerful these waffles are against the darkness. Anyways, that is your reading this week. I hope you all enjoyed it. Remember, anything goes in this simulation, which means that you really can manifest great, incredible magic. That is it for your reading. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you would like a personal reading with me, you can follow the link in the description below too, theaquarianadepts.com. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Much love. Smile often. Yeah, we're still rolling.